Good evening.
Good evening.
Let's see. I don't have any new business to present this one, but we've got some current things we need to bring forward to you. First off, I'd like to request to hire this full-time operator too. Step one. Some of this we interviewed last week and found a candidate we think was a good fit for us. Then annual bids. Next item, we went through our annual bids, and I don't know if I need to go through these each individually, but the bid number one was asphalt. Of course, we've got a multitude of selections depending on whether it's FOB at the plant or job site. If you look on our report there, we would like to recommend an award to Mid-South Paving for sections 1B and 2B, Wiregrass Construction for sections 1A and 2A. And then Advanced Asphalt Products for section 3 in that first bid. On bid 2024-2 for the concrete, we didn't receive any bids for this item. So I would recommend to allow myself to be able to negotiate with the lowest price for the native concrete. 2024 bid number 3 was for pest control. We'd like to recommend award to Meeks Termite Pest Control as a low bid. 2024-04, that's for hauling aggregates. I've seen in the highlighted spreadsheet, there's different ones were cheaper for different products. We'd like to recommend an award for to Johnson Trucking, Stevens Trucking, and E&E Trucking, and Foshi Trucking for their respective items as highlighted in the spreadsheet attached.
Question. You talk to the vendors and they're good on the portions they're living in?
Yes, I mean, kind of the way we do it. Yeah, every year. The bid number 5 for stone and gravel. We'd like to recommend award to the highlighted suppliers, Mid-South Paving, Hard Rock Hill, RM USA, Ready Mix USA aggregates, Johnston Trucking, Callan Enterprises, and Dunn Construction, and Mohawk Mining. As in the spreadsheet, the different suppliers were cheaper on different products, but those are all the low bids for particular items in the spreadsheet. And then for bid number 6, eliminate corrugated pipe bid. We'd like to recommend to contact for pipe being picked up by the county when we go to their facility and pick up. And then for delivery to Pike County, the Gulf Atlantic Oil Company. For item number 7, for the right-of-way mowing bids, the bid came in, we only had one bidder. Low bid came in at $243.80, and we do not recommend awarding. We'd like to reject this bid. This item.
While you're there, got a call today from a local contractor that wants to place a bid for that. And I think we ought to allow him to do so,
Gotcha.
however that needs to work.
Yeah, we can re-advertise.
Okay.
And see if we can
And
get it
then if it's still too high, we'll do what we gotta do.
do that. That's all I've got on the bids. I do have some information from the County Road 1146. It was damaged by the railroad contractor. We sent them a quote for us making some repairs and researching that road. And they've agreed to pay our price to fix that, to repair that road. So I'd like to request that I can go and enter into a seek an agreement with them to
You good with that?
Yes, sir.
negotiate for reimbursement.
We will get all that squared away and then wait until they tell us they're completely done with the bridge building and all that work.
Yes, until they get all their heavy equipment out, at least they, as of right now, he's telling me probably early to middle November. That's kind of what I got.
If that project's gonna continue on in some capacity after that, I'd like to do what we weren't allowed to do since nobody told us what they were gonna do, and tell them, once we fix this, go down the dirt road.
Yeah.
So that
Well, we can post
with
it.
anything heavy
Yeah.
like that, and
Post it through no through truck.
that's too much to ask.
And, I believe that concludes everything I've got.
Questions?
Just updating, you had any more conversation with the railroad about some of those?
I'm still waiting on them to get us some estimates together of what it's gonna take.
Have we had a moment to put up speed signs with that?
No, it's not yet. Still haven't had a chance to get them on. We've got a training for my guys to go through when we get ready to put them up, and we're ready. We've just kind of gotten tied up with a few things that prevented us from already going out there to do that. But I mean, it should be a very good chance we'll get to it this week. And get those up. But I'll let you know when we get them.
Thank you.
For sure.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
EMA?
I have nothing for approval tonight, but I've got several things I need to run over with you from this occurred in the last couple of weeks since we met. And before I get to number one, I'll skip down to number two, but this hazard mitigation funds that I mentioned last week, or 2 weeks ago, there's about $1.3 million that we can apply for. And in looking at our hazard mitigation plan, the three things that I see we can apply for, because they have to be in the plan, are either safe rooms, traffic control barriers, or communication equipment. So I wanted to come back to you tonight just to kind of get some feedback from you on where you think those priorities are.
One of our items we discussed was the radios, I'm assuming that fits.
That fits under the communications, please, yes.
Yeah. I think that's
But we want to focus our efforts on, I just want to get that feedback from you.
That was probably good to know the sheriff has got in his budget that y'all have
That's right.
radios, so if we can get some money to help offset, that'd be great.
All right, just number three, real quick, September is National Preparedness Month. We're going to be doing some ad campaigns for starting next week, just to promote that. So I just want to let you know about that. I think you have in your packet a letter or a flyer from about the National Weather Service. And we're being asked to assist in, I guess, we're talking to our senators, U.S. senators, and congressional delegation about budget cuts to the Weather Service. The proposals are right now from the Senate to cut about $40 million, and from the House, cut $200 million from the National Weather Service, which will have an impact on us. They're already short-staffed. They've already got places where we don't have any radar coverage and stuff, especially in West Alabama. So I don't know, before I go out here on a limb and support this, I just want to bring it to the commission to have an opportunity to look at it and ask any questions.
What else you got?
All right, the other two things are mass fatality plan and tabletop exercise. Last week, myself and I asked Jennifer Ventures to be here tonight. We had a meeting with the representative from State Department of Public Health. Day after tomorrow, we have a follow-up meeting with her, and then on the 20th, we have a tabletop exercise out here. Department of Public Health is putting a heavy emphasis on every county having a mass fatality, mass casualty plan. And along of our inventory of what we have with regards to body storage, things along those lines, what our needs are, primarily was the needs and the storage space for bodies.
And then write the plan.
And writing this plan, we have to have a written plan that we in turn submit to the Alabama Department of Public Health. I don't know that anything requires any action tonight, but I had mentioned this, I think, one time before, back some time ago, about they approached us about a mass cemetery or cemetery for mass fatalities, but they are pushing this pretty heavy this time. And one of the things that we may have to look at in conjunction with the coroner would be places either refrigerated truck or buying some type of cooler to store bodies in. And I know this is very morbid, but this is, they're pushing this all the way across the state of Alabama, that we take a look at these things. So I'm bringing it to your attention tonight since this is very current. Jennifer, was anything else that
Well, this tabletop exercise is gonna be across the state. So they want to know what we're gonna do with our bodies, and every other county's gonna be full. So, it's pretty much, we're out there in the dark on our own. And she talked about our size county needing about 12 storage spots. And we have 2 right now. And when you look at the storage area of the hospital, I don't know how many of y'all have ever been out there, but there's 2 drawers and they're stacked on top of each other like this. So it takes 4 firemen to get somebody in that bottom drawer because you have to bend down and squat to do it. The top floor is not so bad, but it's an ordeal to get a body in that bottom drawer. So we got some funeral home space, but the tabletop exercise is going to say the funeral homes are unavailable because they've got their own bodies already, so they're not able to help the county with any kind of space. So basically what they're looking at is, like he said, can we use a refrigerated truck, which is not ideal, or can we build a small area that's got a walk-in cooler that has, storage for bodies stacked on top of each other. I don't know if anybody's ever been down to Coffee County, but they did it in their new facility, and I don't know why we didn't think about that, Jerry and I, when y'all were building this new building, but something along those lines to COVID, I think, brought this out, and that's the reason they're, looking for areas for any kind of, whether it's weather-related, or reg, or COVID, or whatever it is, that, we have the facility to store our own bodies.
I have a question for you. Is there a place you have in mind for us to do this?
No, we did not. In our discussions, we talked about, if we do a refrigerated truck or a temporary basis or whatever, it really needs to be behind a secured fence. So we'd have to find some place where we have a secured fence, whether that's behind the new building out there or whether somewhere else. But no, we do not. That's what this plan is supposed to help us identify these weaknesses. We will not be able to rely on the other county. So But it's also, you know, the transportation of bodies, mass casualties, you know, burial for those that, you know, don't have family or don't have the means to be buried or cremated. So there's all kind of things. This is kind of taking a priority that I want to follow up.
Well, the cemetery part of it, I'd like to ask you, what are they proposing? Does each county procure a spot for a county cemetery?
Either if we can work something out with a funeral home or church or something that has property already, it's a cemetery where, you know, I'm not sure, I think Jennifer, you correct me if I'm wrong, that when the sheriff's had an indigent person, he's worked something out with the cemetery on top 231.
Well, we used to have a cemetery, kind of a popular cemetery, but it's now full. So the last few times, and I'm glad Alan just walked in because he's been involved in this. The last few times we have been able to thankfully talk the family into signing for cremation. But in order for cremation to occur, then, you know, somebody has to sign off on that, whether it be he gets the hospital or me to take custody of that body and says, you know, you're going to cremate it, or whether a family member signs. But, you know, cremation is the most efficient way to handle that. Unless somebody is just adamantly opposed to it, it's much less expensive and it does not, you know, require space, obviously.
Question. I'm assuming after this tabletop exercise and you all have a draft plan and some feedback, kind of all of these deficiencies, we'll call it that, will be brought out where we'll have something in front of us that says, hey, here are the things that we need to look at, how do we address these? So we kind of have a form
And
that.
that's, you know, I don't want to expect any kind of answers tonight, and, you know, we will put it back on the agenda once this is, the exercise is done, and, you know, for us to take a look at it. We'll get you a copy of the plan, but, I need to work together with Jennifer and the hospital and others that, you know, go ahead and get this plan in place or get this plan drafted.
Do you have a timeline and or deadline for this?
No, I mean, you know, they want to cover as much of it as we can on the 20th, which is, you know, later this, next week. And, so they're wanting to get that, they're going to provide us a basic template to work off of. So it's just, we've got to fill in and plug in a lot of the blanks and stuff like that. So, probably would say within the next month, we probably will come back with a draft plan. But it also has to meet ADPH's standards. Last thing, I'm just going to give you this for thought, I'll talk more about it later on, but speaking of public health, radiological disaster as far as nuclear plants coming up on a full-blown drill here soon, in the next couple of years. But they're beginning now. We're in a 50-mile radius to Farley. And I don't, you know, there's a big push on right now to educate people about the ingestion pathways and where Pike County falls in that, the things to do. Nothing urgent, but they're beginning. We had about a 5-hour meeting last week with all the counties in this area going over that. So more to come on that, but it is something that we begin seeing. We've got to be very careful not to alarm people that this is happening. They will do a drill and go through it, but you'll start seeing more and more information about it in the next probably month or so.
Probably asked the last time, so I have lots of questions. Is Farley that out for Dothan? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Anybody else? Thank you, Mr.
We had to found a place for the refrigerated containers. You got an idea that might be located? What's the distance, what I'm trying to say?
You're talking as far as the storage container?
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully this would be something to be short term, you know, the families would, we could work with families and take care of their, their family members, but it would be a short-term type thing. When we look at a refrigerated truck or a refrigerated truck body, or whether we try to build something and install a walk-in in there, they could stay in there as long as, how long?
10 days.
10 days, okay.
We need to really look, when we look at this, we need to look toward the future too, because that refrigeration system at the hospital was built in 1968. That is the only morgue in this county. So if it ever goes out, it's out.
If we were to get some kind of a trailer or something, it's gonna have to run off of something.
Right.
Whether it be fuel or power. And either way, it's gotta be where it never shuts off. So if it's got some in it, so that's a problem.
Yeah.
Sure, it will be ours from then on, because as Jennifer said, nobody's gonna want this trailer back.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we would have to work
They
out.
might even call produce in when you get through with it.
No, once it, and then you gotta maintain it and keep it up and,
Yeah, do we have any, when y'all ask people from the state if they've got, state plans, like what they're,
Yeah, I mean, they
I
mentioned,
mean, long range answer it and probably a refrigerated trailer.
no, I mean, they, some places have often used coolers, like walk-in coolers for, like from a restaurant or a restaurant supply, or from, school is being torn down or something, they have a walk-in refrigerator unit. I mean, it's just, we would just have to go out and take a look at what we could get for.
I mean, do you think, Ms. Jennifer, logistically, space-wise, there could be any kind of conversation with trying to put a group together to do some kind of remodel at the hospital that would make a better space for that?
possibly, there is an area down there where Dr. Crawford used to do autopsies. So there's an autopsy room that's not being used for anything right now. So could that be converted into a walk-in toilet? Yeah, sure.
What's the square footage is that?
Sir?
You know what the size is it?
I don't, but it's a fairly good, but I'd say it's almost as big as a surgical room. It has a cut table and everything.
Yeah.
All right, anything else tonight?
Anybody else? All right, thank you. Jennifer, anything to add?
No, I just want to introduce my deputy coroner that's sitting back here. She came as well.
All right.
Happy fingers.
Hey, Ms. Well,
She's helping me.
all right, very good. Attorney report out?
No.
Okay. Does any commissioner have anything to report at this time? Okay, administrative report.
Under new business, I've got a couple of items. The State of Alabama State and Local Cybersecurity Grant Program. I'm doing some research on that right now. They've just sent it out. It's some grant money coming from the federal level to help with cybersecurity. I think they're trying to identify weaknesses, but I'm trying to find somebody that can help tell us exactly what it is before we try to move forward or anything. But I just wanted to go ahead and get it on the agenda while we were looking at it. The second item is the Sheriff's Department postage machine. There is a lease in there that we do need to go ahead and move on and get taken care of so that they can have a postage machine. We weren't thinking everybody shared the big postage machine at the old courthouse, and when they moved out, they don't have a postage machine, so they're having to buy stamps or either take their postage back over to the old courthouse to be able to send out mail right now. So we've got a lease agreement in your package for them to get a postage machine for their office there in the building. That'll be the only people that we have to provide postage for at the new building, so it's just a small one that'll work fine for them. Under current business, the Harris security contracts for fire alarm system. I know Commissioner Copeland was asking about that last time. It is for both of the options. The way that system is ran, you either have to have it on a cellular device to send out the information, or either a hardwired phone. There's not hardwired phone lines in that new building, and so we chose the cellular option instead, is how those are hooked in.
So the question last time was in the back, there's two options. There's a cellular monitoring, and then there's, I'm assuming, what is it, hardware monitoring. So we're only paying one of those monthly.
We will pay both. It's not either or, we could have just paid them the monitoring, but then we would have had to have AT&T, somebody come in and run phone lines into those systems, and we chose the option of the cellular
So
service.
that's a monthly fee for the cellular communicator.
Correct. So we're having to pay for both. And it was either that or turn around and having to get hardwired phone lines connected to the system. That's why we went that route.
Gotcha.
So those are for both options on each one and for the annual testing at the 3 locations, logistics building, the jail, and the judicial building. That's what that is.
So they don't offer like anything other than monthly for hair security?
Yeah, it's just on this the monthly payment option is what they have on that. They have not spoken to me at all about any kind of annual, and I know some other businesses that do it, and it's monthly that they do too, so I don't know if they just don't offer it. Another rate. Also under current business, we have the Hepzibah Voting Center Precinct. We have prepared some resolutions. I don't think they're quite right. We've sent them to you, and we're going to need to get that looked at hopefully by the next meeting so that we can take some action on that. There's some wording, the laws have changed since the last time we had to create one of these, and so there's some wording in the resolutions that I think need to come out because they don't apply anymore.
They should be ready by next meeting.
So, but those are pretty much on track, just with, I believe, Commissioner Copeland and Commissioner Johnson, y'all got copies too, because they would affect y'all, your district and your voters. And then number 9, the alcohol license transfer request for the May Brothers Incorporated. They have gotten their publication in for the affidavit proving that they published it like required, and I've not heard anything else about it, so I don't see any reason not to move forward with that.
Okay.
So, and I think that's all I have for the agenda.
Any questions for our administrator or comments?
Before I forget, I need to go ahead, if you will, because and add County Road 6601, that's a partial vacation petition that's come in by a couple of landowners. Derek and I have communicated back and forth, and we're satisfied with the description, and I've done what I do, which is find out who all did everybody sign it was supposed to, and I did. And then we have to give notice to certain landowners and all utilities that may be located on it. So we're ready to do that, but y'all need, I just need to present that to y'all to officially give the go-ahead and set up a public hearing on it. And I will do that next meeting.
Okay. Anything else at this time?
What is that location? 56 or
Just north of 66, just north of 6602. If you're going up 6600, 6602 comes from Seco, back over towards, well, 6600, sorry. I don't know some of the community names to describe, but,
It's the loop dirt road, Mr. Homer, just north of Linwood, that leaves the Linwood Steel Crossroad Road and makes a hook and comes back out and hits the, you know what I'm talking about, around the old Chancellor place? That's where it's at.
Anything else? All right, the Pike County Commission work session is now closed. We will reconvene at 6 p.m. for our regular meeting.
I do too.
Yeah, I told everybody, I said, this is a new one.